Hello, good morning once again. I am Ugonwa Grace. This morning I'll be talking to you what about moving into development work, moving into development sector from the scratch or from a entirely different sector. The development sector work is what we call the Nigerian non-governmental organization work, NGO. That's what most people understand, NGO. How do you navigate that? Now I'll be using my own personal experience to talk to you on how I'm moving. I started from the private sector when I've not had a degree, started working at the private sector, then I was able to move to public sector. Later on, after 10 years, I resigned and I moved into development work because that's where I've always had this. I've always had passion, and the dream was always to work in the World Bank. I don't know this thing about working in the World Bank. I was just dreaming, desiring it like crazy, and I was reading, trying to do everything possible, searching all the website, all the World Bank website. I subscribed to the listserv, and they are sending me posts, but I never get to qualify in any of them. So I now realize that before I could actually fit into such organization like the World Bank I desire, that must have some level of experiences in the non-governmental organization, like development field and something like that. So I decided I have to prepare myself to search for a job in the development sector before I can be able to get those kind of World Bank job I was desiring. Then I started going online, reading up every day after work. After work and during my break time, I spent time at the cyber cafe. At that time, the internet was not really like as rampant as it is today. So it's just very few cyber cafe, that you'll be able to have that. And to own an internet of yourself was very, very expensive. It was a lot of money. So I was just like going on the website, reading about non-governmental organization, what they do. And in the course of my reading, I found out there are different fields, different sectors, different areas or thematic areas, in the non-governmental sector work. So I have to find out which one I suit me, which one I was of interest. So in the course of reading that, I picked interest in governance because then I was already in a trade union as then in NEPA as a electricity worker, as a first secretary, state council secretary, and automatically I was a SEC member of Nigerian Labour Congress FCT Council, and I was in one of the committees lead, and I was a secretary to one of the subcommittees of the Nigerian Labour Congress FCT Council. So I've already have an idea of things that relate with governance and things like that. So and also being the state executive council secretary of my union then, the Electricity Workers Union then. So I was related to, I've already had some little experience of things around governance. So I decided, I picked much interest in governance. I was reading, I saw things on education, things on health. So in all of it, I found out that non-governmental organization work, that we will call it that the NGO work or development work, is just about solving problem of mankind. So if you look at man as they are, the society as they are, what are the challenges? So those are the things that the problem of society, of mankind, that the development work comes to address. So you can't do everything. So you have to focus on the one you have comparative advantage, where you have strength. So for me, I noticed that since I've already had a background of governance, and I've always think governance, and when things are not working well, it get to my nerves. I'm not happy about it. I frown at it. I try to fight bad system, and because even the way I got into electricity workers executive as a union leader, then it was as a result of bad leadership, bad governance in the system, and the leaders then we are just collecting our money, not accounting one thing. It happened for like 14 years, the same leader executive. So when I got to know about that, I got angry. I said I was going to, even as a very young girl, I said I was going to, not even up to 25 years then, I said I was going to contest. Everybody was thinking it was just like a joke. So I picked out the form, and lo and behold, I started campaigning, and I won then was a treasurer. I said I was going to sit over the money and watch the money to know what they do with our money. So I wasn't so comfortable how they were managing our money. So I became the treasurer, and from there, the Abuja was made a state council. I showed interest. I wanted to become the secretary. So things about leadership, about governance have been my flare of interest. So that was how I saw myself. I contested, I won. Then I had three men competing with me, and I was able to win unopposed. Everybody eventually accepted me. I became the state council secretary of the regional and member of NLC. So NLC is Nigerian Labour Congress FCT Council. I was a SEC member and also a secretary of the social, one of the social committees. That so I saw that I've already like had that governance thing. So all the things I was reading on the internet about NGO work, development work, I picked more interest on governance. I want to fix. I desired system to be fixed the way government is run to be. So I picked interest. And so I focused most of my interest around things about how government is run, the problem of governance, and what can be done to fix that. So I grew from there, and and then I've been desiring to work in the World Bank, but each time I apply, I find out I don't even get to meet up, So I now had to find out that one of the criteria they are looking for, I don't have what it takes. So I told myself, you know what, I had to do an NGO work, and I didn't know how to get started. So I started reading a lot about the NGO work during my break time, during my lunch break, and after work, I go to the cyber cafe. Social life was kind of affected. I wasn't really socializing. I was focused on reading, studying about this sector I'm interested in. I started applying, applied the first one. I wasn't called. My IT experience there was very low. I didn't know how to use computer. I didn't know where I was coming from, the background of writing with paper and biro. I didn't know how to use computer. So I went for the first interview. I was not even invited. I applied for the first, I was not even invited. And that position was a front desk. I was just eager to get in. I wasn't, but the front desk was not really what I want to do. But I was not even invited. Then I applied for another one, and the third one I was invited for an interview, and I think the second one, yes, I was invited for interview, but I failed very, very well because of my IT level, because there was going to be practical session on computer. I didn't do well, but I did something during that interview because I desired to really change. I contacted the guy I suspected that would do better in that interview, and I told him that, please, I need you to, and I want to keep your contact, that if you eventually get the job, because I know you have the potential, I'm going to be on your neck until I get my. And it happened as I said it. Later, the next day I called him, I say, tell me you are the one that got the job. The guy said, yes, he got the job, And I came to see him, and he put me through, told me what he asked him, why did you get in here from government to here? Tell me. So he told me how he was reading as if he was reading for a PhD exam. So I started reading, I started studying about development work, a lot of things, and he taught me how to watch out for interviews. I should not just apply for positions. I should look at the person's specification, what they are looking for, the job description, every question I'll be answering will be around that. So I started studying and everything, and I didn't want to thank Abba Aliyu. I don't know where he is right now, but Abba was very, very instrumental. Abba Aliyu was the one I was talking about. So, and then I started applying, and I didn't have a laptop. I borrowed a laptop from someone to improve my IT level. I borrowed the laptop. I was studying it day and night, writing everything, typing everything. I see that look like Excel. I would type. I literally taught myself how to use computer. I was just practicing and doing everything. And the next interview I was called upon, and I got it. And I was happy I got into the first job in Action Aid Nigeria. And how I got that job was a entirely different program. So in a nutshell, if you want to get into your work, from a different side, you don't have but you have to study about that sector. You have to know about it. You have to know what area you are interested in. You have to show commitment that you are interested in this thing, because you can't just get into there and not know what they do. Understand it. So I now realize that the whole setting of development work is to stop problem. So in another post, I'm going to be telling you specifically how you can move in from my own little experience I've told. I'm sure you have learned something from this little experience I had on how I got started. But one key thing I'm sure you take after was that I took my time to study. I sacrificed. I read a lot. I didn't just start applying. I read and studied, and I was able to and I had a friend who also helped me, and I saw somebody that that had what I don't have, and I was able to talk to the person. I humbled myself, and he was able to put me through, and I was able to make it. So thank you. Please subscribe to my channel. In the next one, I'll be telling you step by step on what to do, and I'll also be talking about the different sectors you can get into in development work. And because I'm a governance person, I will also be telling you more about the governance and what I've been able to do from that journey I started some years back. Thank you, and God bless you.